Hello everyone, welcome to the 5 Minutes Podcast. Let me ask you, do you think it's the end of the employment model that we are used to see today? And let me tell you up front, I'm not saying that I have good news or I have bad news. I'm not competent to make a full judgment on what will happen in the future. But let me tell you, I'm becoming very concerned about the changes on the relationship between employer and employee. And let me tell you, I don't want to talk about, we have technology and technology is taking jobs. No, I don't want to cover that. I'm talking about people working in different areas. Let me explain to you. Let's imagine and make it in a very simplistic way. Let's split the workforce into two types. Physical workers, okay? So those who need to use their skills, their physical skills to do something. For example, in a manufacturing plant, to control a machine, or to paint a car, or to build a truck, or to stay in the front of the store, protecting the store, or to stay inside a store to help a customer or a cashier in a store. So you need to do this physical active work. Do you agree with me that today there is a lot of technology being put in place that are taking and reducing the need of human physical work? So, for example, if we compare production lines 50 years ago and now, we see that usually 50 years ago we used to paint cars using a painter, someone to paint the car. Today there is a robot that paints the car, and maybe you have 2-3 people just inspecting a whole line of production. So you need less people. For example, retail. We are seeing the online shopping growing dramatically fast. So we see these trends clearly. But now let's go to the other group, and this is the group I want to talk more. It's the ones that work on finance, the finance area, marketing area, sales, client management, and this kind of workforce. What happened is that usually they went to an office to work there, to meet with people, to talk with their colleagues. But right now, something is changing, because what happened recently is that COVID-19 forced a vast majority of the workforce to go home. I don't care if you like or don't like, but you went home, all of us. And then people start working. And then if you can become not as effective, but good on working from home, I raise a second question. Where is home? Because, for example, if you are working from home for a company X, Y, or Z, your home can be in Europe, your home can be in India, your home can be in Brazil, your home can be in China. There is this concept of geographic boundaries becomes really challenging to put in place. For example, I was discussing with a friend that just got a green card in the US, talking about green card and visa. So a working visa. Okay, I'm expecting that you will work in a physical place to do something. But when you work from home, I don't care. You can work in China. And then, look, please, I'm not a lawyer. I'm an engineer. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not an HR expert. But I'm really concerned on how things will unfold. Because how will labor law work if my workforce is overseas and there is no... Look, I know that I'm not telling something that is new. Several companies already have that. But I'm talking, if this becomes widely spread out, I'm saying, imagine that not maybe 10%, but 90% of the workforce work this way. So how do you control immigration? Because there is no, I need to say, where are the brain? The brain to do that is in Hungary today. I just hire. Of course, the challenge will be language, maybe time zone. But for example, I do webinars and I do meetings at 11 p.m. It's becoming normal. This is the new normal we are facing. And again, I'm not saying that I'm happy with that or sad with that, but it's just a very clear trend. So you leading a project or leading a transformation, maybe very soon your whole team will be working in a very different environment. Maybe you will have a fully distributed team. And this will become the biggest trend. And this will be our, I would say, new normal. This will be the way. And then there is a lot of implications on that. So how do you do to compete in terms of cost? Because some countries, of course, they have much lower fees. So how this will work and how you will allow or not allow companies to do that. And most of the time, as I see with e-commerce and the law comes always 1 or 2 steps behind. So I see a lot of challenges and a lot of disruption in the way people work for each other. So I see a much more clear entrepreneurial behavior. So where you work for 2, 3, 4 different companies and you work remotely, something like that, than the traditional life work. That you go to a company and you work there 30 years and you receive a button at the end and go home. I don't know. This is something, and I'm not here to answer you, but this is something I would love to hear your thoughts and I would love to learn from you on that. So it's something for us to think, because I think we are seeing a lot of transformations coming on this side very soon and very quick. I'm not talking 20 years from now. I'm talking 2 to 3 years maximum that we are living and seeing something like that. I hope you enjoyed this podcast and see you next week with another 5 Minutes podcast.